hand in my pocket, found a big clump of hay. What's in there? And then looked at my phone, realised we were live. Ever the professional. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Workshop Wednesday. That was what we decided. Although, Jane, did you have a good look through everybody's suggestions? Weren't they? Weren't they? So thank you for that. This is Jane's slot. It's not mine. I'm going to sit over there and push buttons. Hopefully not yours, but just buttons. Which is fabulous. But I will first tell you what we have on the show. It's this. Lots of you already ordering, so thank you very much for that. If you are new to us and just found us, hi. It is www.natashamakes.com. That is where you can find all of these goodies and lovelies and fabulous things. Lots of you already bought the digital download. Hooray for digital downloads. So thank you, Josh, for managing to sort that for us this morning, which means that you can get it today and quilt today, should you wish. The fabric will take longer, but if you have a huge stash, we're not judging. No judgment here. Then crack on. Get going. Enjoy. You can follow Jane's demo and then off you go. First of all, this is how it happened, wasn't it? I bought the fabric. It was the beauty. I'm going to have to show you this because I'm not sure that you can really make it out from there. Oh, hang on a minute. I might have to go and change my camera angle. Bear with. I forgot about this because I had What's Her Chops in yesterday, and I've got a lovely picture of your hand there, Jane, which is not going to be entirely useful for this hour. There we go. That's better. Ever the professional. There we go. This is, come on, switch. Yeah, this is the fabric that started the whole thing, wasn't it? Yeah. The gorgeous, well, I love peacocks. They're my second favourite bird after ducks. Just if I had to rank, they'd be there after ducks. And I do a very good peacock impression as well. Just saying. In terms of the sound, not like rattling the feathers or anything, no. So that was what happened, and then Jane went, ooh, let's pick out those colours, and found the perfect green and the perfect blue, and hence the Catherine wheel, perfect for bonfire night, that we're all going to have to stay in, and, you know, this is safe, right? This is safe. Socially distanced fireworking quilt. That's what we are offering you today. And so we have got the kit. You get 1 metre of the pattern and then 1/2 metre of both. And the full kit with instructions for that is under £30, which I think is really reasonable. Really, really, really reasonable. And then when we showed this last week, someone went, yes, Beverly, you, said, I like pinks and purples. So, you know, what about pinks and purples? Could you do one? Can we? Yes. Yes, and we did try it with a deeper purple, didn't we? Because Claudia said, I'd prefer a deeper purple. It sort of overpowered it though, didn't it? We did try, because we also had that thought, Claudia, totally, but it just wasn't quite to our taste. But, you know, everybody's different, and that's the beauty of it. So you have got 1 metre here of K-Facet Millifury, yes, and then 1/2 metre of your purple, 1/2 metre of your pink. Fabulous. And then, and so that's in a kit with your instructions. But then we thought, well, what if this is something that you want to make again? So we've then put out, I found this beautiful Christmas fabric. Look at the gold in there. I want to say this is Moda. It is Moda. Yeah. This is a lovely salt batik there. I want to say this one's Moda as well. Oh yeah, there we go. No, that's why I want to say it. I want to say that is What's His Chops, but I'm not too sure.
It's not.
Is it not who I think it is?
No, it's
It was next. We'll have a look on the salvage. But it was on the shelf next to What's His Chops.
It's one of the centenary fabrics.
And gorgeous. So if you'd like to make this for Christmas, or just want that fabric because, quite frankly, it's gorgeous, that is up. And if you, it's tricky, but it's there.
It's rich. I've called it Rich Christmas.
Have you? Good job.
Lovely sumptuous colours.
But I didn't want to assume that I've priced it exactly the same as the other fabrics, but just minus the instructions. So if you want the instructions, add it in, and it's exactly the same cost as all the other bundles. And if, but if you already have the instructions and you just want the fabric, then there you go. Now, if you want another sort of traditional based Christmas type fabric situation, then there we go again. Again, there is, there's a lot of fabric going on there.
There's a metre of the print.
Metre, half. There we go. There we are. So that is what we have for you on today's show. Plus. Look what's finally back in stock. I'm so relieved. This has taken 3 months to get from America to here. 3 months we've been waiting for these. Very patiently. Very patiently. So yes, Australian April, we have put yours aside for you, and there was somebody else who'd asked and we hadn't managed to fulfill. So they have been put aside for you. So don't worry, they're aside for you. So everybody else, if you want one, I might have to have another one because this might have the dog skin treatment in it. Well, only because this one arrived and I was like, great, I need a misting bottle. But I hadn't realised that. This was nearly empty and that I'd already put the pink rose spray in. So, because I wanted to know what the rose smelt like. And if I've already opened it and had a squirt, I can't sell it to you. So I just had to keep it. Rude not to. So yeah, don't try that on your fabric because that's got Maud's skin treatment in. But I mean, useful for many application. I might have to write Maud on there actually so that I don't forget. I'm going to hand over to Jane now and leave you in her very capable hands. Enjoy today's show. Jane's put a lot of effort into it. And I'll see you in a minute. Oh, hang on. I need my William Morris bamboo mug. It's a good one, isn't it? Eco and William Morris. Winner. Enjoy, Jane. Enjoy. I'm looking forward to this.
Good morning.
Oh, hi.
How are we this morning? It's a little bit chilly, isn't it? Oh.
Shall we see who's here?
Yeah, let's have a look.
Shall we see? Whilst you get yourself set up, let's see.
Fabrics just into the front so you can see them.
You have a little rummage. We have got Julia, we've got Susu, and 30 others, and Caroline, and Heather, good morning, and Naomi, hello. She's having a sneaky watch while at work. Yeah, you go for it, Naomi. And Heather, hello. She's already downloaded the instructions, but she might be smooding today.
Ooh.
I love that smooding and smarfing have now actually become verbs. And Gary says, hello, very excited to half watch while trying to get books in order for the VAT return. I feel your pain, I did that last week. We're all paid, I'm feeling very virtuous. Karen said, good morning, ladies, from a not so sunny Camden Town. What you doing in Camden Town? Lovely to see you on a Wednesday. Well, hello. Your mum says hi. And Margaret, good morning, downloaded her pattern, and so all poised. Margaret, did you get my message about that Millie Fury, by the way? Have a look on your emails, have a look in your junk folder, see if you got my message, and turn Jane's mic on.
Am I not turned
I
on?
thought we'd turned it on.
Let me just check. Well,
Oh.
the light's on.
Is it muted?
Doesn't say it is.
Oh, hang on. You see, this is why I shouldn't do technical stuff, is it? Because I messed it up.
Hang on, does it say mute? How do I mute it?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
Does it say mute?
Let's switch it up. It says mute there.
Oh, have another play on that
Switch
button.
it off and switch it on.
Oh, the age-old turn it off and turn it on situation. In the meantime, Elizabeth says, give me a warning if you do your peacock impersonation so I can turn the volume down. Rude. Might be a quiet peacock.
I don't know how to turn it. Oh, I can see.
Oh, she says if my wonderful laugh
Can you
is
hear me
anything to go
now?
by.
Can you hear me now?
There'll be a delay
Yes.
while people tell us. They will. People
you
always
hear
tell
me?
us. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Sorry.
She
about
sounds
that.
like she's in the other room. Well, she shouldn't now. Is she still
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hang on. I'm going to go
We need
and have a
technical
look
support now.
Hello. Technical support.
Switching it on and off
That's
is
on.
as far as I go.
That's on. Yes, we're on. We're all good.
Yes?
Yes.
We're good? Can you hear me now?
Hurrah.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
My fault.
All right for the lip readers among us, but nobody else.
Yeah. Alison says, good morning, Natasha and Jane and everyone. I've ordered the peacock kit. It's gorgeous. Right. they can all hear you loud and clear.
Lovely. That's
all
great
good.
now. Good.
Laurie's here. She's already got hers as well. David and Jeanette and Helen and Claire and Sharon and Diane and who else? Oh yeah, Beverly. There you go. She's already ordered her pinks and purples.
Lovely. That's what we want.
It would be a shame if she
If we put it together and she goes, nah, don't like it.
Don't like it. No, don't like it.
Not having that one.
Ah. Hi Joanna, hi Wendy, hello Helen as well, and Eileen, hello, and Marion as well, and Florence, good morning, and Lynn, hello, thank you for your lovely message yesterday, Lynn, it cheered us all up. And Marion and Julia and Patricia and Susan, hello, and Bianca, good morning, and Val, hello, from a sunny Neath. And Jan and Joe and Christine and Debbie and the list goes on. Good morning to all of you. It's fabulous.
It's lovely to know that everybody's there, isn't
it?
It's really
Isn't it?
encouraging. It's nice because, you know, we're quite happily standing here making quilts and doing crafting, but it's lovely when we know that somebody's watching us as well.
And we do. Yes,
We
someone
love
other than
it.
the cat watching us.
Yeah.
It's all good. Jacqueline says we can hear you, which is fabulous news.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Right, come on then, Jane. What are we
Okay.
doing today?
Right. We're going to do this block. It's a very simple block. It's a 9 patch. I love a 9 patch, you know me. And we've made the same block and we've repeated it 12 times.
Nice.
Put them exactly the same way round. And it creates this lovely, what I consider to be like a pinwheelie effect, but with a bit more. And it just reminded me of when I put it together. It wasn't the intention, but after I put it together, I thought, oh, that looks like a bit like a Catherine wheel. Because although I know this is peacock feathers, it still sort of reminded me of fireworks for some reason.
It's beautiful. I think because of all the whistly
Yeah.
bits that are off it. Technical term.
And so that's how the quilt evolved. And then Natasha and I were talking and we were saying, not everybody wants to make a full-size quilt.
Nope.
We talk quite a lot, don't we, funny enough?
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to make a full-size quilt. Sometimes you just want to have a go at something. This size makes a nice wall hanging. There's always one thread. You think you snipped all your threads and then there's always one. Makes a nice wall hanging over the back of your chair, sling it over your knees in the evening.
I call
Baby's
it cat,
play mat.
Yeah, the cat quilt.
Yeah.
It's the one the cat lies on, or that's just left folded up on the sofa, or
Yeah.
protects from your sofa from the cat.
Yeah.
And also, like you say, you just throw over your knees of an evening
Yes.
whilst you crack on with stuff. The kids love it because they can
Yeah.
make forts and things with it.
My mum made 2 like this for my boys. They were nap quilts.
Really?
Nap time, you know, because she had them quite a lot when I went back
Yeah.
to work.
Yeah.
And so they'd have a nap time quilt to just sling over them when they had a little nap in the afternoon.
Right, so Jane, that is our next thing then, because Emily's started having a little bit of a nap just towards the end of her day at school, because they're
Yeah,
long
because
days
it's
for her.
tiring for her. And she is only just 2.
She is only just 2, but she's sorting them out a treat.
Yes, I can imagine. Not a mother's daughter at all.
I know what you mean. Gemma was saying this morning, we call her a force, it's just a polite way of saying little. It's like, it's a good job we know each other very well. Yes,
her.
it is.
We love her.
So that is the next thing, is to create Emily a nap quilt.
Yes.
So we're going to bring you quite regularly, I think, lap size quilts that are around the £30 mark, because I think that's
I think
really
that's a reasonable. That's really good for a little kit like that. And the thing is, this block, because it's a 9 patch, it can be scaled up.
Of course can.
So you just divide the measurements by 3. So if you wanted to, this is a 9-inch block. If you wanted to make it a 12-inch, divide 12 by 3, and you'll get the size of your blocks. It's easy to scale it up. If you like this size but you want to make it bigger, make more blocks.
Yes.
It's not unfeasible.
No,
You'd
or
need
if
more
you-
fabric, obviously, because you can only just get the borders out with the metre. But
text us, because we can always, or message
Yeah.
us, because we can always
if you're
sort that
stuck
out.
on measurements or anything like that, just get in touch, because I'm happy to help you work out measurements and things like that. That's not a problem.
Elizabeth says it has lovely movement.
It does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's got
does.
nice movement. And you can change it round as well if you wanted to make the focus fabric, because obviously when you use a more solid fabric, it becomes the one that your eye's drawn to. So that's why we're seeing this shape here. But if you wanted to, you could turn it around and have that as the focus. and have these as paler colours so they're not as obvious, and that gives you another effect again.
Once you've got the pattern,
You can play with
you
it.
can do it
Yeah,
any way you
play
like. You
with
could do it in just 2 colours if you wanted.
Yeah, you could, definitely. It's a versatile pattern. It's a very straightforward block. It's just using half square triangles and a plain square in the middle.
So what skill level do we need to be, Jane?
I think, you know, a beginner that's done something before, I wouldn't say do this as your very first quilt maybe, or you could. I mean, the half square triangle isn't hard to master. They're quite straightforward.
I
And
think a
because I
half square
use a square,
triangle-
you know, 2 squares and cut it that way.
Prep with a bit of best press spray
Yeah.
and you're sorted.
Whenever you're working on something with a little bit of a bias going on, always, well, I use my best press anyway, all the time, because I love it. So, half square triangles. What we've done with this pattern is we've got 3 and 7/8 inch squares of one colour, the lilac, and 2 of the pink. This is making 1 block.
Okay.
In the instructions, it tells you exactly how many you need to make this size quilt.
Yeah,
so
perfect.
everything's there. And 4 of your main fabric. And then you need a 3.5 inch square of your main fabric.
Okay.
So on the reverse of the main fabric, I've done the diagonal line from point to point across the middle of the square. And we're going to sew 1/4 inch either side of that square. And when I always say this, when I mark my diagonal lines, I start from the middle and go out.
You
because
do
you are
always
working
say
on a
it.
bias edge. It's not going to make a huge amount of difference, so don't panic if you don't do it. But it just stops you stretching your fabric and everything goes together slightly better if you don't stretch your fabric. So we can chain piece this. We can go all the way down one side, which I'll do, and then come up along the other side. If you want to pin your squares together, go for it. I'm just always in too much of a hurry to get on, so I very rarely pin. But if it makes you feel safer, more secure, that everything's going together.
You'd be
go
proud of
for
me,
it.
I pinned this morning.
You were working on something with quite a lot of pieces, though. I should imagine I'd be pinning with that as well, because it's quite a lot going on with that pattern that you're doing this morning.
I was working on my goose. For those of you that will have seen it on Facebook, it was a goose-based situation.
Lovely, absolutely super.
I think it's going to be lovely.
It looks really nice.
Can't wait. And actually, easier than I thought it was going to be. It's just like a giant jigsaw.
Yeah, and I think, you know, tilde patterns aren't difficult, are they? They're just, you know, you follow the instructions and
If
you'll
you
get
follow
there.
the instructions, that's
Yeah.
the thing.
I think don't think, oh yeah, I know, and
I was very
go
grateful
gung-ho.
for my creative grids this morning, I have
Yeah.
to say, for that accuracy.
Definitely.
Now Claire's just done a mega quilt with a lot of half square triangles, and she said that she saved a lot of time with my hundreds of recent half square triangles by drawing a 1/4 inch line on my machine and let the point of the square go over it.
Yeah, that would really help. And also, you know, I've got the 1/4 inch foot able to move the needle over to a 1/4 inch. Some people can't. So if you want to draw the 1/4 inch line either side of your middle line, do it, because if that helps you with your accuracy, then, you know, we haven't all got machines that can do a 1/4 inch. Some of us have got 1/4 inch feet for our machines, some of us haven't, and some of us can't move the needle. We're all at different levels with our machines. So
Well, you haven't had a go with the new little one that I bought the other day, have you?
no, not yet.
It's ever so sweet. So I
It's a little
basically bought, and it's just to put in the workshop, isn't it? So that if I'm on air
so that we
with the
don't
big
fight
machine,
over the machine.
yeah, and Jane needs to do any prep, and I've got the big machine on air or anything like that. It's so that we've got a spare one, or if anything happens. And it's a completely non-computerized, very old Benina, but it's been loved and really looked after. And they're another company that do excellent machines, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely.
And it's tiny, so it's really massively portable. I've got it from Jenny Raymond.
Oh, yeah. So it will be looked after.
Yeah.
So we've now got 4 lilac and main print, and 4 pink and main print
Perfect.
half square triangles. Now, my little suggestion to you is that you press 2. Normally, we would press them underneath the darker colour, which for me is the print, is the solid. But what I'm going to say to you today is do 2 that go underneath the solid and 2 that go underneath the print. Now you'll be thinking, what is she talking about now? But it will help you when you come to put your rows together, because you'll be able to nestle your seams. And
So
this
the way
gives
I
you
remember it
a
is
bit
that
of accuracy.
whatever colour is on top, the seam will go under that.
That's right, yes.
So if you just, when
so
you're
for
on
these
your
one-
ironing board,
yeah. So if
you-
I've got 2 that way and 2 that way, that will help me. I
yeah,
don't know if we can we see me? Yes, we've got 2 there and 2 there. So that's going to help me remember. And, you know, at the end of the day, if you forget, it's not the end of the world, because it will still go together. It's just this little hint here just gives you a little bit of a help putting it together, because the seams will nestle.
perfect.
I always like to try, because I've made this several times now, so I always like to try and, find the ways that will help us in the long term just get everything together a little bit better.
Nice.
So that's it. No, it's not. That's it. But it is. It is.
Done.
We're done.
We're finished.
We've got the
that
blocks.
was quick.
So we're going to now place the blocks in rows, the units in rows, so that we've got the pattern that we want. Now, if we break this pattern down, we've got, in effect, 2 flying geese shapes with our triangles. So we've got the 2 solid long edges facing each other on the purples and on the pinks. Now, you could join them into flying geese units, but you'd have a partial seam, which is something that we're going to do later on, probably with another pattern at some point. But for now, we're just going to stick with the half square triangles, and we're going to sew them together into rows. What you're aiming for is to have your 2 triangles with the main print together, but facing in the opposite direction, so
Yeah.
they form like a stripe. And then your other solid, in this case the lilac one, is going to go against the solid to form this flying geese unit. And you'll make 2 of those, because that row there is the same, it's just upside down. So you'll do that twice. If you've just got
Okay.
your pile of squares, you'll do 2 rows like that. And then the middle row is with the 3.5 inch square of your main fabric. And then you've got the main fabric going in opposite directions. So it goes, one's facing that way and the other's facing down. So one faces up, one faces down. And again, that will then, when you put the rows together, will form this flying geese type style unit here. If we can look on here, it's this bit here
Lovely.
and up there.
Yeah.
So you've got one lot that are joined together in the row,
Yeah.
and then just an odd one at the side. And then the middle row, they've just at the side facing out. But when they're joined together, they form this flying geese unit here.
It's very clever.
It's such, this is the beauty of patchwork. This is what I love, because you can play with this, and if you wanted to, you could have all the triangles on the one block the same colour, and all
Yeah.
on the other block the same colour, and it would make a different pattern.
Could you just point that out on the quilt again, please? Because I might have forgotten to change the camera angle.
This bit
Sorry
here.
about
It's okay. This bit here is the 2, it forms like this flying geese type unit.
Yeah.
So you've got, on this row, you've got 2 triangles together,
Yeah.
and then this odd triangle facing away.
Yeah.
And on the middle row, you've got the triangles facing away from the centre, but in opposite directions.
Nice.
So you've got this flying geese unit here and here.
Perfect.
If you think about how you place your fabrics, if you wanted this bit to be all the same colour, you would make a row with all of that colour there the same, and that triangle there the same,
Mm-hmm.
and that one. So that it would make
It would change it
it
all
would
up
change
again.
it again. And as I say, if you wanted to, you could make it so you've got one block one colour and one the other. What would happen is this piece here would be different. You'd have it half one colour and half another, which would give you a different look.
Yeah.
But, again, the beauty of patchwork is you get a pattern, you try it out, and then you start playing with it.
Yes.
And this is what patchwork does to you. It makes you look at things and think, oh, what would happen if I, which is what I love about it. So we're going to join these rows together. There's no nestling of the seam in the first bit, you're just joining the main fabric edges together.
Julia says she loves the Juki. They are fabulous machines. So I don't know if any of you saw on Facebook, I managed to get hold of a handful of the, now what are they called? The Juki 2000 QVPs, which were the ones that were specially made for Festival of Quilts. And so they're exactly the same as my DX7 in my smaller machine.
Lovely.
And but they've got a different coloured lid, and they come, excuse me, with 163 pounds worth of extra feet that the DX7 doesn't come with. So they're the quilters edition, really. And like I say, I only have a handful of them. And I've kind of wangled keeping the handful that I've got on for another day or so in case anybody wants one, because they are so hard to come by. And but it's £100 more than the DX7, but it's got 163 pounds worth of extra feet, so you actually make a saving, which is fab.
That's lovely. So what you can see, I'm just pausing here just to show you that I have got this triangle here has got the seam pressed under the purple, and this one here has it under the main fabric. So when I place these two together, I can nestle the seam. So I've got one seam going that way and one seam going that way. And this will just help me with the accuracy of the point on the triangle, you know, the flying geese unit. So when I put those together there, we go a close up on that, Natasha.
Oh, yep. And go back. There we go.
We can see
Nice.
that those, because I've been able to nestle the seams, you get this lovely accuracy here, so you don't lose the point. I mean, it might be a little bit out up here, but that doesn't matter. That'll disappear into the seam. As long as there's at least 1/4 of an inch there, or just under 1/4 of an inch, you're not going to lose the point of that, and it matches up beautifully. Now this row for the top and the bottom, I'm going to press the seams away from the centre unit. And again, this helps with putting your blocks together. When you join your rows, you've got seams that you can nestle again. So that's the top row. I'm going to do the bottom row again. This time these two seams will nestle because we're doing it that side first.
I do like a nestling seam.
It just
It
makes
is the way forward, isn't it?
It just makes everything accurate. Well, it helps. I mean, you know, we cut as accurately as we can. It all helps with the finished effect. If you lose the point of your triangle, it's not the end of the world, because, you know, let's adopt the 3-foot rule, and from a distance nobody's going to notice.
3 foot.
We're not making competition quilts. We're making quilts to be loved and hugged.
Yeah.
So, you know, your grandchild, your son, daughter, niece, nephew are not going to go up to you and say, excuse me, the points don't meet on my triangles.
And if they do,
They're going to
quite
go-
frankly, rude.
You're going to be like, oh my God, I've got a quilter in the making, wonderful.
Hey.
They're just going to love it because you've made it for them. Let me just check that I've got now. I've just twisted that round. That's it. I think the beauty of this is, you know, keep it on your pad, next to your sewing machine, out on your table, so you can keep going back to it and just checking that you've got everything in the right direction. That's not in the right direction. Just looking at it. That's because I turned that round. No, it's because I just turned that unit round. I've got it that way, and I'm like looking at it and I'm thinking, that's not right.
What's going on?
But, you know, we can make a different block completely. Why not?
But
so
that's what we do,
this
isn't
time we're putting the two main fabrics together on this row and sewing down. As I said, the top and the bottom row are exactly the same.
Right.
So, you know, if you're going to be making this in a chain piecing fashion, you can make all of your row 1s, which are also row 3. You know, you can chain piece those all together.
So they're all the odds. So just do all
Yeah,
the odds.
do all the odd ones together, and you've got, you know, you've got that top and bottom row of your block done.
Oh, hang on, I'll get you the right screen in a minute. Gosh, what's happening?
I keep moving around.
Everyone
that's the trouble.
but.
I keep whizzing about. I'll stand still for a minute.
No, you're all right. You're all right. I just
So-
it didn't switch quite quickly enough.
If I just show you, this is the bottom row, and you can see that triangle unit is facing up, and this triangle is facing towards the right hand side. But if I turn that round, that's exactly the same row.
Oh, nice. Very
So
nice.
You can make all of those rows. If you're going to do the quilt, you know, just make all the rows together at one time. So for the centre row, we've got the triangles facing in opposite directions.
Oh, morning, Fiona. Fiona's just joined us. Hello,
Hi,
hello, hello.
Good morning.
She's given us a heart and a rainbow, which
Aw.
is lovely. Yeah, I love
I
that.
love a
Thank you very
rainbow.
much. So, we found a rainbow this morning, didn't we, Jane?
Yeah.
So one of my suppliers sent me a completely random box of stuff that was completely not my order.
Somebody somewhere is going, where's
Where's
my
my
order
stuff?
got to?
Where's my stuff? So our rep said, at some point I will have to come past your neck of the woods and I will collect. Great, brilliant. But in the meantime, they still don't know whose order it is. They still have no clue. So we went rummaging, didn't we?
We just had to have a little look to
We
see
did.
what it was.
Other people's orders are fabulous. And I now understand why at things like Festival of Quilts and Stitches, I've had people come up and just rummage through my bags going, oh, what did you get? What did you get? What did you get? Because it's exciting.
It is.
And yeah, so other people's orders were really excited. And I think this is why I quite enjoy putting together everybody else's orders. 'Cause I'm
Yes.
like, oh, I wouldn't have thought of that.
It's
and that
lovely
and that.
because you see what people put and their choices of colours, and you're like, oh, that's a nice combination. I haven't thought of
Yeah.
those colours together.
And it's like I can think, you know, Rona always puts beautiful colours together. We always love packing up Rona's orders because
Yeah.
we're like, oh yeah, no, good choice.
Nice colours. Middle row, seams facing the middle.
Right.
That's all I wanted to say on that bit.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So now we're going to join the rows together, and because I've put those seams together and those out, when we put the top row to the middle row, those seams nestle nicely, and you're going to get this as accurate as you can be. We've got a little X marks the spot here where we can make sure that our seam stays with inside that seam there, and that will make us not sew through the middle of our point. And again, if I'd got the right triangles, we'd be able to nestle this one here. What I've done is I've put the two the same way together. But again, it's not the end of the world. It still works, but it just makes it easier to get everything together. And of course, you can pin it at this point if you want to, if you feel happier.
I've been known to go in and repress when I've
Pin
got it the wrong way
rows.
around.
Yeah, I've done it as well if I feel.
This morning, in fact. It's like, oh no!
If it makes it easier for you, then taking that little bit of time just to repress it, it doesn't matter, does it? You know, it's supposed to be enjoyable. We're supposed to enjoy the process of it.
I love it's supposed to be.
It's not supposed to stress you out because your points don't match and you've got no point on this
Oh,
one.
hey up, we've got another Crangle on board. Morning, Dave. How are you? I'm loving Dave's retirement. He joins us a lot.
This is lovely.
Yeah. No, I think he's just keeping an eye on
We'll
his
make
sister.
a quilter of him here.
We will. Quilter Crangle. It's got a ring.
It
right?
has.
It's got a ring.
It's definitely got a...
And if anybody can give him some hints and tips and what have you, then it's his sister. Morning, Ginny. She says, oh, apologies for arriving late for some of the best entertainment around. Oh, bless you. Thank you. Oh, we'll quote that
yes,
somewhere.
we'll quote that. Best entertainment. For the right reasons, I hope.
Print it off, stick it on the wall. Julia's now worried. She said, some of my orders must look unusual. Stash matching. Julie, we don't judge.
No, we don't. We don't judge. We're just like, oh, I like that combination.
We get inspired.
Yes,
That's all.
that's
Don't
what it
worry.
is.
Don't worry.
Definitely.
And Elizabeth's just giggling to herself, which is fine.
Nothing wrong with that.
Claire, I totally misread that. Yeah. Oh dear. Morning Sue, morning Marie, hello, hello, hello. I love that people apologise for being late to the party. It really doesn't matter. It's lovely to have your company and you can always catch up.
I was going to say the beauty of this is that you can go back, can't you, and look at us on YouTube.
And they're always there, by the way. We were going to make you actually at some point. I need to check with Josh if this has happened. I think it might have done. I think you've got your own page.
Oh my Lord, that's
I know, like you've arrived. But just so that it's easy for people that are doing block of the month.
Yes.
And actually, yes, Naomi, when I do get around to setting up or ask SJ to set up a block of the month page as well, we should pin all of those videos on there. Oh look, hang on, they've just multiplied.
So there's a
Hello,
block.
Blue Peter.
Yes, there's a block. That's the block. It's straightforward, isn't it? Simple to make, goes together beautifully. This is a 9-inch block. As I said, you could make it smaller. You could make it 6-inch. So your middle square would be 2.5 and your half square triangles would be 2 7/8. That would be super cute. You could make it bigger, 12-inch. It's got to be divisible by 3. So you can make 12-inch, 8-inch.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
21-inch, whatever you want to do. So if you just wanted to make one block, make it into a cushion.
Yeah.
You know, you could make an 18-inch block.
Okay.
The beauty of 9 patches is that they can be scaled up or scaled down.
Yes.
As long as it's divisible by 3.
Yes. Yes. Sorry, Elizabeth misread Claire's message as well. She said I was fluking the nested seams. It didn't read as fluking.
Oh dear.
But I was like, Claire,
Really?
wow, not language we expect for it. And then, no fluking. Until it clicked which way they went. Yeah.
So
it only took 32 by 36 square blocks to work it out. But you got there and you won't forget now. It's all good. Yeah.
You get there. So in the quilt that we've got, you're going to put 3 rows together.
Right.
So you're going to put 3 blocks together and it's 4 rows. It's 12 blocks altogether. So you put together your three units, sewing them together, and again lay them out so that you're sure if you like it that way. If you want to have it so it moves in a different way, you can do it that way.
It is pretty in those pastels, isn't it?
It's so pretty. And
how many blocks did you pre-make, Jane? Maybe this could be Emily's quilt. How many have you got?
We've got
hidden
4.
away there?
We've got 4. So that's the pattern. When you put, I've done 4 blocks because I thought, well, I can show them this little flange border as well. So it'll make a square. You could make it into a cushion if you wanted to.
But you could always put some sashing around it and make it into a playmat or anything like that.
Yeah.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
This is the versatility.
Little person
of
size, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I wanted to have this shape going on, and then that forms the shape on that one. So I'm going to join my blocks with the pink ones together.
Nice.
As I said, it's your quilt. You can do what you like with it. You can change it around completely if you want to. So again, when you're pressing your rows together, it might be an idea to press one row so that seams are facing downwards, and the other blocks are the seams are facing upwards. It takes a bit of thinking about, but if you can do 6 with the seams facing down and 6 with the seams facing up, again, when you come to put the blocks together, you're going to be able to nestle your seam rows together, which will give you a little bit more, to make sure you've got your accuracy again going on there.
Susan says, hello from Texas. Thank you for your digital instructions.
Wow.
Smooth and mini quilt. We were saying this morning, we are now international Natasha mates.
Yeah, we're global.
Yay! When we very, very first started, we asked everybody if they wanted digital, and it was a resounding no. Everybody wanted paper copies, but now we're 10 months old and we have an audience that is international, then it's lovely that we can now do that for you. So Susan, you are so more than welcome. It's lovely to have your company. And Claire says she hardly ever swears. Unlike me, who likes to turn the air blue on a regular basis. Which I think, Claire, that's why I had to go back in and have a look, because she doesn't strike me as the cussing sort
of person. And again, once you've done your 3 blocks in rows, if you can do one row with the seams facing one way and the next row with the seams facing the other way when you've joined the blocks. When you're joining your blocks, again, you've got that nestling seam going on, so it just helps you.
I have been known to just lay them out and flip them on top before I've done the seams to try and work it out.
Just to work it out and get it working, definitely. Because it all helps. It all helps with, you know, getting things to go together, and sometimes it's just a bit awkward if it doesn't, and you get frustrated, and that's how it is.
Jane, Fiona says, dash it! Not words I usually use. She loves the Rich Christmas bundle, but it's sold out. Have we got any more lying around anywhere? Or
We've got some more Christmas fabrics, not the same, but
that
similar.
Rich Christmas
Not
one.
that Rich Christmas was
a bit special, wasn't it?
It just sort of stuck in a box somewhere, didn't it? And I went, oh, I like that. Can I have it? Natasha went, go on then.
I had to rearrange all
She
sorts
hadn't
of
realised
ongoing projects.
She didn't realise when she took me on that I'd be forever going, oh, can I have this? Can I have this? Not for me personally, obviously, for the benefit
for the greater good.
For the benefit of the customers.
It's like charity work, isn't it, for you, Jane? It's just for everybody else.
It's all for other people. I am just, because I want to be sure, and I haven't been able to nestle these seams here, I'm just pinning this one, because I'm joining the rows together. I've pinned along that row, that seam there, so that I know that those seams are going to be together. Okay. Just because I don't want it to move, because it will. Because the more fabric you've got under your machine, the more it's likely to move. With the weight of the fabric and everything else, it's very likely that it will move around. So yeah, sometimes, you know, when you get to a point, everything else is nestling up nicely, so I'm not too worried, but I just don't want that first 2 triangles there to move.
Now, Christine wants to know, do you trim your blocks before sewing together?
Again, no, because I'm too much in a rush, but I know people that do, and they find it better.
I did this morning.
I quite like having the ears on mine, because I can match up the ears as well.
Oh, nice, yeah.
I know some people find them frustrating and they get in their way, and they can add to the bulk of the seams when you've got a lot of seams joining together. So yeah, if you prefer to trim it up, then do so, but just remember, let's just go back. Just remember that when you're trimming your block up and you've got your triangles at the side here, these ones here, you don't want to trim it to the point. You want to be sure that you've got at least 1/4 of an inch gap here, because otherwise you will sew across the point of your triangle. No, I'm just, you know me, just in too much of a hurry. It's just like, I want to get it made, I want to do this, can I go and do the next thing?
Next thing. Elizabeth says that there are 2 languages, only 2, English and bad. Bad language. Oh, she's on form this morning. And lots of new viewers as well, which is really lovely. Good morning,
That's
Pat.
really nice.
Good morning, Anne.
Thank
Good
you.
morning,
It's lovely
Lynn.
to
Good
see
morning,
everybody.
Rosh. Good morning, and Judith. Hello, and Jackie and Glenn. Hello. Hi, Yassi. Lovely to have you with us. All good fun. There we go. Well, this is looking lovely, Jane.
It comes together really quite quickly. You know, some people don't like making all the same block. It's a bit monotonous.
Yeah.
But I think the joy of this one is the secondary pattern that you get from it. So it's worth persevering with making the same block over and over. And as I say, if you want to make
skills as well, aren't you?
it's, you know, repetition makes you more accurate, and you learn as you go, don't you? And you think, if I just did this, that would be a bit easier.
I've just realised our new watcher Glenn is actually your husband.
Oh, is it? Why aren't you in bed? You're supposed to be... that sounds wrong.
Hey, up!
He works nights, ladies and gentlemen, and usually by now he's asleep.
She'll be home soon, Glenn. It's all good.
Oh, dear.
Oh, morning,
Things
Chris.
we say without realising what we've said.
Yeah, we were reliving some of my finer moments the other morning, weren't we?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so easy to say
happens.
something completely innocently and then it's misconstrued, isn't it?
Yeah, so what was Gemma reminding of herself?
We won't say it.
There was a fabric with bugs on.
Yes.
And it went wrong from there. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Oh, what have you got there?
So, if I don't know if you can see on here, it looks like it's a border,
Yes.
but it's not a border. It's
What?
called a flanged pipe.
Oh, a flange.
Flanged pipe egg, or a bit of faux piping. It's not really faux piping because there's nothing in it, so it's not piped, but you could, if you wanted to, stick a bit of piping cord in there. It just gives you, because I didn't want to use more than a metre of fabric, because we'd only got the one bolt of fabric, and I thought if I start making it 1 1/4 or whatever, we're going to reduce the amount we've got available. So to give me a bit of it, I thought if I put this fabric straight onto here, it's going to disappear.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I wanted a little bit of an edge just to sort of finish this bit off in the middle before we started the border. So this flanged border here, this flanged edge, just gives you that little bit of a full stop, I think is the word I'm looking for, before you start the next bit.
Nice.
And just finishes it off. So with a flanged border, it's an inch wide strip of fabric, and it's cut to be the same size as your blocks put together. So these are 9-inch blocks put together. It's going to be 18.5-ish.
I mean, that could just be a big cushion.
Yeah, it could. And you will sew these on, and I sew them on with I whack my stitch up as high as it will go, just to hold it, and I'm going to sew it just as close to the edge as I possibly can.
So basting, basically machine basting.
Machine basting. If you want to just pin it, you can. So it's an inch strip, and I'm just literally, if it was a fabric with a right and a wrong side, I'm pressing the wrong sides together.
Right.
A bit like you do with your binding.
Yes.
And you want 4 strips the same size, which when you're making borders, you're like, hang on, don't you need to make it wider than the side ones, wider than the top and the bottom? But no, you don't, because it's just going to encase, if you like, your so this is coming out at just 18 on here, so I'm just going to trim this strip off a little bit just to make it 18. If I can find it's upside down on here.
I realised that the other day. I was like, oh, what have I done to confuse myself? And I also need to apologise to the poor lady that wanted the cutting mat, and I was like, yes, I've loaded it. Didn't actually make it visible, did I?
Ah.
No, sorry. It is visible now on the website.
Yeah.
Oh, morning, Penny and Dorothy as well, and Jane's joined us. Oh, good morning all.
So I'm going to just whack the stitch up on here as high as it'll go.
Good technical terms.
Which is 5, which is what it does on mine, which is,
I think that's standard, isn't it, really?
Yeah. It's not a huge stitch, but it's enough to hold it to your fabric. And if you want to unpick it, it's easy. But I'm just literally sewing as close to the edge as I can, just to hold it down. So it is like a tacking stitch. And if you want to do a tacking stitch by hand because you're quicker at it by hand, then yeah, go ahead and do that. That's fine.
I love people that are quicker at hand stitching. It fascinates me.
Yeah.
Really fascinates me. It's like when you see Helen McCook stitching, when she's not demonstrating, she's just stitching.
Yes.
She's a whiz.
Fast
An absolute
stitcher.
whiz. She's amazing. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. Elizabeth says, John, that's a significant other. Loves listening to me, listening to you. My laugh is like yours, Natasha. It only really comes out in your company nowadays. Oh, bless you. I think I've told this story before, but I used to work for the Royal Shakespeare Company.
Yeah.
And it's a 5 level building, and I used to work production during the day. So I'd work, well, it was 10 till 6. I used to work 10 till 6 in the office, sorting out all the productions. And then in the evenings, I either worked in the wardrobe department or props or whatever it was. Wherever I could get work, I would work, so that I knew how the theatre worked inside out and back to front before I went off to train as an actor. And the guys in the prop department used to have to take stuff up and down to the rehearsal rooms on the top floor. They always said they always knew what floor I was on
Because they could hear you.
because they would hear my laugh. And I think there are worse things to be known for.
Well, I think that's right. I think that's lovely.
It's always good. Oh, Penny's making face masks again in winter colours.
Oh, nice.
Yep. She's in a comfortable place. Sewing machine, watching us.
How lovely.
Go for it.
So I put the flange border on either side. For me, that's the top and the bottom. But now I'm going to put them on the sides as well. And what I'm going to do is it just comes over the top of there.
Yeah.
So it's covering the edge of that, and it'll come down this side. And I can trim it off afterwards. I've made mine a little bit longer. I've got another one somewhere. It's on the floor. Always happens. So I'll just put those on there.
I said Helen into my drawers yesterday. That was an experience. And after the show, the pant conversation continued, the embroidered pant conversation from yesterday.
Yeah.
And and Inga came in on it, and she, of course, being from Cumbria, knew all about the embroidered pants.
Oh, right.
She wasn't surprised at all. She's used to embroidered pants. I mean, it takes all sorts. Morning, Jan. She says, I'm making Christmas face masks as well. There we go.
Oh, that's nice. It looks like we'll be still wearing them at Christmas, doesn't it?
Oh, it's a thing now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just going to be part of our... It used to be Key's phone purse, didn't it? Now it's going to be Key's phone mask purse before you go out the door.
Sanitizer, all of that sort of thing. Yeah. Although...
with your smartphone, you don't need to worry about it, do you?
You don't. You smarf all your schmood.
Yeah.
And I was having a little giggle at Sarah Payne the other day, whose birthday it was last week. So a very happy birthday to you, Sarah. But she was laughing because her her other half had bought her a lot of hand sanitizers on sort of like key ringy type things.
Yes.
And he said, well, why aren't you using them all? She's like, because I've only got one bag. So for her birthday, he bought her 2 new handbags. I was like, that's just so that you can hang the sanitizers.
Yeah,
that
that's
bought
just
you
so
off
that you've
it.
got... That's one way of getting your husband to buy you a new handbag.
So then it suddenly got me to thinking, because we've got our sanitizer patterns, haven't we? Our bottles and our any size bottles, so that if you've got other brands, I mean, apparently there are other brands other than Seams.
Yeah, but they don't smell as nice as Seams.
They don't.
Oh my gosh, they're just gorgeous.
And I thought it's a great excuse, ladies. Just, make up a few, and then you'll have to have a bag for each one, right?
Yeah.
Always in your favour. Always in your favour. Yeah, Julia doesn't hand stitch either. She's got a bit of carpal tunnel going on. Oh, that's no fun.
That's not fun, is it?
And Elizabeth has put her hand up to having looked up the pants. She said, I reckon we all did. I think you're right. I think we probably did. Anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, just watch yesterday's show with Helen McCook, and the embroidered pant conversation will make more sense.
Make you laugh.
Actually, I can't promise it will make more sense, but it will put it into context. Let me...
So I'm just going to trim those edges off there, just because I can. Just loosen that up. So they just overlapped on the corners.
Beautiful.
And that is the flanged bit. We're now going to put the borders on. So your top and bottom border, measure your quilt through the middle. I always measure it through the middle because you've got less chance of seams coming open or stretching out. So through the middle, that's your measurement. It's coming out at 18.5-ish, so that's fine. You'll want 2 pieces that are that measurement. You can cut those at the same time as you cut your flanged borders. I think in my instructions I say to cut them at the same time. And you're going to lay that over the top so that the raw edges of that flange and the raw edges of your quilt middle are all lined up. So in effect you're sewing through like 4 layers. Now most machines will cope with that admirably, but if you think your machine's not going to cope with it, put your walking foot on.
Okay.
Remember to turn your stitch down again after you've done your big stitch for your tacking.
We've all done that one. We've all done that one.
And
Oh, hello, Dale. Dale's joined us. They're new. Hello.
And you're just encasing that flanged bit into your border now, so it will it'll just become part of the border.
So Dale says, I'm new. And Elizabeth says, I'm not admitting to being old. You don't have to.
Established.
That's it.
Established viewers.
Oh, morning, Jean. Nice of you to join us as well. And Rosalind's here as well. You don't get many Rosalinds, do you? And it's such a pretty name.
It's a lovely name. It's a lovely name.
Very theatrical. Or maybe that's just because I worked for the RSC for a long time.
Is it Rosalind Pike who's one
Well,
of our
there's
top,
Rosalind Pike as well. Yeah.
She's one of our top
She's
actresses.
beautiful.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah. Very clever lady. Mm.
So I've sewn the top and the bottom borders on. They are the same size as the flanged borders.
Okay.
But when we come to press these open, the side borders will be slightly bigger.
Okay. That's all good. Elizabeth is happy with the established. Well done, James. Oh, hello, Paulette. Lovely of you to join us.
So we'll press those borders away from the middle, and you'll see how we've got that piece of flanged border then encased within the border.
It just looks so nice, isn't it?
And
It's
it
a
just
frame.
gives it it's a frames your quilt middle, but without taking up any extra space, if you like, so that if you are limited to the amount of fabric you've got,
Or
then
even
it sort
if,
of adds to it without taking away, if that makes sense.
yeah,
It's like-
or if you've got a set amount of backing fabric that you know that you've got set aside for something.
and you're working within a limited amount of fabric. I'm just going to trim that edge piece off.
Joe says, I checked out the chickens that look like Elvis too. Were you there on that bit, Jane? Did you hear that?
No, I didn't hear that bit.
So yesterday Helen said that, well, you know, I've got all sorts of weird searches on my phone. I think you can tell artistic people from their searches.
Yeah.
And she said, chickens that look like Elvis.
Are those
That
ones
sort
with
of
the
thing.
fluffy crowns?
Yeah. So Joe started checking that out. She said, I also found otters that look like Benedict Cumberbatch. We're all going to be looking that up.
We're going to
now
be
as
looking
well.
that one up now.
Brilliant.
So measuring the quilt through the middle again.
Yeah.
So this
Why
is
do we measure through the middle and not on the end?
because, not so much with this because we've got the flange bordered on now, but with your edges, if you measured at the bottom of your quilt, you've got loose seams that will be stretchier and they may have come undone and moved slightly. So the bottom might be slightly wider than actually through the middle where you've got all of your seams together and everything's working perfectly.
Yeah.
So for this one, I would measure from the top to the bottom through the middle of the quilt.
Right. Okay.
Um,
If only someone hadn't spun the mat round, make
So
it
we're-
trickier.
24 and a half-ish, 24 and a quarter probably. So we can do that with this piece of fabric. I don't think I've got quite enough to make, I think I've only got enough to make the one border on the one side because I just used the offcut from the end of the bolt when I came to make the sample.
Oh yeah, we don't want to take away from anybody that might want
No, I
it.
don't want to use
Um,
a full kit.
So Jane, actually thinking of that, I'm just thinking about is it Julia that no, was it Julia or Fiona? Gosh, and that's how my brain has already forgotten. Who missed out on the thingamajiggy on the quilt. Was there going to be like half a metre or anything left of the Christmas fabric? Could we make up a
We might be able
quilt
to.
the other way round?
We could make, maybe.
We'll have a look.
We'll have a look when we come to cut up.
Because you never know.
You never know. There might be more on the bolt than it actually says as well, because that sometimes happens. So when you actually cut it, you've ended up with more than you thought you'd got.
It was Fiona. I don't know why I got that the wrong way around. Sorry, Fiona. We'll have a look, Fiona, and see what happens.
So again, it's the same thing, but we're working from the edge of the top border and the bottom border there, and it's going to encase that flanged edge there. So it's all the raw edges together, just like you would if you were putting on a border normally.
Right. Perfect. Yeah, we definitely need to devise a nap quilt. I'm thinking, worrying, I know, maybe we could do a nice applique nap quilt.
Yeah.
And then have ribbons sewn into the binding so that you can roll it up.
Yeah.
Because school said that if she had a nap quilt, then they could just keep it there because it can't come back and forth and back and forth.
No, yes, of course.
And they wouldn't want it just hanging about.
No,
So maybe that's what we need to devise.
definitely.
A nap-based quilt.
Does she have a little nap at school then, at preschool?
They asked me if I minded if she did fall asleep, if that was a problem. She's on the cusp of not needing a nap,
Yeah.
but it depends what they've made her do.
Well, this is it. And also, you know,
She's
we're all
2.
the same, aren't we? I mean, she's only 2 for a start, but
I
we're
quite
all the
like a
same.
nap.
Some days we're full of energies, and other days we could
Really
stay
use a
in bed
nap.
all day and sleep, couldn't we? It's just like, get to about 3 o'clock and you're just like, yeah, I just need a little snooze now. Just rest my eyes. My nana used to say, I'm just testing my eyelids for holes.
I think that's fair enough. It has an actual name. I think it's called a Trapesian low.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, with body rhythms and all that kind of malarkey.
See, there's science behind it all, isn't
Yeah, I just like the name, and if I learn a long word, I want to use it. I'm not going to lie.
there? No, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Morning, Sheila.
So, yeah, I haven't got quite enough on here.
Oh, we're going to have to look in the scraps. There must be a little bit
There's
left
a bit
over
left
somewhere.
over here and it's a bit wobbly, so I bet there's in the middle. It probably is.
So we could just join
I
it.
will join it. I will join it. Bear with me. Bear with me,
Bear
Cora.
with.
Yeah, that piece there will do it.
Oh, Margaret says, what about for the preschool nap quilt, something like the picnic quilt, proper handle? Yeah, maybe. She does love that, I have to say. Simone says, hi both, love watching you. I lost my Sojo back in March when I lost my black lab just before the miserable lockdown.
Oh,
no! My stepdaughter says it's because the last thing I sewed was a new dog bed cover. Oh, bless you. I've struggled to get it back, but I'm hoping watching you guys will get me back again. Thanks for all your fabulous shows. Simone, I can completely understand.
Yeah, we lost our studio dog Arthur.
We did lose studio dog Arthur, and I have to say it was 10 days, a week or so before I had a week off for a holiday, and it floored me. It absolutely floored me.
Yes.
And
There's a reason any pet does, because I don't care what anybody says, they're part of your family.
of course.
And, you know, it's heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking.
And in the end, my T-shirt came through for supporting the arts that said the show must go on, and that was what I ended up wearing, I think, that day, because I really had no
That's how
interest
you
in doing a show,
felt,
but
yeah.
the show must go on, and it did indeed. Hello, Vicky, lovely to have you joining us.
So I'm just going to show you now about joining a border with a 45-degree seam. So
Now, why would you not just do a straight seam?
I think because visually your eye looks for straight lines. And with a 45-degree, it hides it, particularly if you're not pattern matching.
Right.
It hides it.
Okay.
So I always join my borders with a 45-degree seam, just like I would my binding strips. But that's the reason for a 45 on So I've lined up the edge of my piece of fabric that I'm joining the other one to, and I've placed, there's a 45-degree line on your ruler there.
Yes.
So I've placed that on the edge of the strip and moved the ruler up until the edge of the ruler is at the bottom of the strip there. So that gives me my 45-degree line there.
And you can use the 45-degree line on your mat as well, can't you?
Yes, you can.
Because sometimes I
you've
get
got
a bit
one here, it's here.
bamboozled.
So I would have put that along the edge of the line there on my mat, and the corner of my strip on that 45-degree line there, and that would have lined it up with that line with my ruler. So I could have put my ruler like that on that 45-degree line and drawn it the same way. What some of you may have seen me do was fold it as well.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm a lazy quilter, I just fold.
I like to think time efficient.
I just fold it, give it a crease, taking care, because obviously it's a biased edge and not to stretch it. And then that fold is enough to see when you put it on top of there, just to see it that it will join together. Now this strip is just slightly shorter, so I'm just stepping it in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But when you cut your strips the same size, it will fit exactly.
Fabulous.
Move the needle back into the middle so that I can sew on that line.
Now Diane says, nap quilt, yes, yes. I was about to question whether or not it was for her with that much enthusiasm or
Well,
for somebody else. I mean, and why not? Absolutely.
We all need a little quilt to snuggle under occasionally.
Yeah, absolutely. But she said no, her grandson naps at nursery.
Yeah.
So maybe we need something educational like an ABC nap quilt or something.
Why not? ABC 1, 2, 3, something like
Yeah. Karen naps all the time.
So
It's just good to have a mini recharge. She says, yes, sorry.
I've just cut that off, just lined up the 1/4 inch seam mark on the ruler there with that seam line that I've just drawn, sewn, and just trimmed those corners off. And then I'll press that seam open. All this fabric now. I'll press this seam open.
Fab. Oh, now Dale, who's joined us today, is from Tiverton in Devon. Very nice part of the world.
Lovely.
Very nice indeed. Like a bit of Devon.
It's a very nice part of the world, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So we wanted 24 1/4 because that was the... So I've got the 24 line on the mat here, and I've lined up the 1/4 inch mark of my ruler on that 24 inch line.
To get you that 1/4.
To give me the size that I need.
Clever.
And we will put that on there, right sides together.
So there's always a way, isn't there?
Yes. I mean, nothing's infallible, and we've always, sometimes you miscalculate when you're cutting and you need to trim, and all sorts of things happen. Life's like that.
But if you've got these little hacks to put things back together or extend things, it's always good. Or if you've had one of our scrap bags and you just want to make a larger amount or a different shape of fabric, then that always helps.
Remember to put your needle back to your 1/4 inch.
I've
sewn that down the line.
Oh, now you see, Diane says that her Maine Coon cat. I love Maine Coons.
Oh, they're like huge, aren't they?
They're beautiful. Although when my friend moved house, she did have to.
Have you seen those Norwegian mountain cats?
Oh, they're rather gorgeous too. Rather gorgeous. But when my friend moved house, she had to repaint her utility room because her Maine Coons were so into water. They used to come in so muddy and then just stand and shake.
I've got a dog that does that, and I periodically I'll go into the hall and I'll think, what's all this up the wall here?
What's going on? But yeah, so Diane's Maine Coon cat watches and thinks that she wants a quilt. I mean, aren't all quilts for cats?
Well, if you haven't made it for the cat will claim it, won't they?
Yeah. I mean, Half Pint. Studio Cat Half Pint. She loves a quilt.
Yes, she does. And she's
Maine Coons are spectacular though.
Aren't they?
They really are. Although I don't know how many of you are friends with lovely Gina Barrett on Facebook. You know, Gina of the buttons, Silkwork Buttons.
Yeah.
She's got a couple of gorgeous, gorgeous ginger kittens that need rehoming, and they would best go together. Just, I mention it because I know that you lot love cats. in the main. There was one person that doesn't like cats and sent us a message saying, keep the cats away from my fabric. We try.
It's
We
understandable.
try.
We do try. We do try.
We're very trying, aren't we, Jane?
It's very difficult though when you're an animal lover to keep the animals away.
Well, the trouble is we cuddle them too.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Hence
We
our
do.
disclaimer. You might get
Yeah.
cat hair.
You
soz.
may get cat hair or dog hair.
Or horse hair.
Yeah.
Any or all of the above. Especially Sausage. So Sausage is our new pony.
Oh, I bet he's just gorgeous.
Have you not met him yet?
Not met him yet.
Oh,
no.
Jane, he's smaller than Eric. He's smaller than he'll have to come in one day when the weather's better. He'll have to come in and have a little appearance. Hang on, Karen's
Just
Maine
trimming
Coon
that.
cat Poppy emigrated to Melbourne with my son 10 years ago. She's still going strong.
Wow.
Awesome.
That's amazing. So there we go.
Jane, that's beautiful.
So I could layer that up now
Yeah,
and quilt it
yeah,
and then make it into a cushion.
nice.
Doing the straightforward, the envelope fold that we did the other day.
Yeah,
With some fabric. You could use the border fabric if you wanted to.
yeah,
You could make this border narrower if you wanted to for a cushion. If you didn't want it, that's 3.5. I did it 3.5 because it sort of marries in with the block. So that's it really until you do the quilting. And on the quilting here, all I did was rather than quilt through the block, I quilted along this line here.
yeah.
So I went down that one. And then I went down this side.
Then
Now,
you did whirly
I didn't
things
go
in the middle.
down. I didn't go down and then come back up.
Right.
I always start from the same side when I'm quilting.
Do you?
Yeah, if I'd have gone back up, the chances are that would have shifted slightly and we'd have had a bit of a wrinkle going on. That can happen. Just with the movement, even with your walking foot, it can just move it slightly.
Ah.
So our recommendation is that you always start from the same side. Whether you start from this side
Yeah.
or the top, or if you start from the bottom, just always start from the same area.
Now, see, that's interesting because I'd always been told to do one, especially for straight line quilting, do one from one end, one from the other. But exactly what
When
you've
you're
just said
piecing-
has happened to
Yeah,
me.
when you're piecing,
Right. I
do
took it for
that.
quilting as well.
no,
Oh,
when
I
you're
was so
piecing,
wrong.
do that because when you're piecing, it can make your piecing bow if you do it all the same way. But when you're quilting, start from the top and work from the same end,
Yeah.
and then it just doesn't move it. Because even with the walking foot, it will just move just a little bit. Not enough, if you think, oh, I just want to go up and down, do it because it's not the end of the world. And then I just drew freehand, a little squiggle on there, and I put my free motion foot on. They're all slightly different.
I like that,
It's
though.
not a uniform squiggle, it's a free-handed squiggle with my fabric marker pen. And in fact, you can still see the line.
Do you want to show that close up? Do you want to take it down and have a little look close up? In the meantime, Susan says, hi Natasha, I'm really interested in the Dukey NX7, which is what we've been using today.
Yeah.
But she's not sure that she wants to have the extension table on all the time. But we've had it without, haven't we? And
Yes, I mean it worked. I'm assuming, Natasha, that it's got a little bit that fits
no,
onto
it doesn't. It's always got the extension table
Right.
or not. But I was sewing this morning, and well, you only got the extension table out because we were quilting, didn't
Yeah,
you?
and I only use it because I think it shows things off better.
Yeah.
If I was doing it normally, I wouldn't have it on.
No. So we use it a lot without, and don't even think about it.
No.
Also, because I'm lazy and often leave the extension table in my car if I've taken it to Hochanda, I will own that laziness. Because it's another trip in and out. And our front door's gone missing. Whole other story.
Yes. That's right. The front door's gone. It'll be back in a few days. And now we're
3
on 3 weeks later. I don't mind because I have to come through the back door and meet all the dogs on
Dog
the way
cuddles.
in. Get dog cuddles.
Yep.
So it doesn't bother me. It's just a long way to walk round. So you can see here I've just done a squiggle and I put my free motion foot on to do that because you've got quite a tight curve there.
Yeah.
We'll maybe do a bit about free motion quilting and stuff, basics,
I think that should be
on one of the shows.
Maybe we could free motion on our alphabet nap quilt.
Yeah.
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 Now, Fiona says that she used to have 2 Norwegian forest cats. They're not quite as big as Maine Coons. I don't think this is like a general interest show as well. But was not happy when one caught a squirrel.
Oh,
Trotting towards her. I mean, that's going some, isn't it?
to catch a squirrel, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lady the other day that posted about her cat and he'd eaten a stoat. He caught a stoat.
Well, how does she know it wasn't a weasel?
Well, she showed the
You can
head
totally
and-
tell because they're you can easily tell because they're totally different. I balls that one up then, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about a quillo, says Dale? I'm never quite sure what a quillo is. Does it just go into a pillow or is
Yes,
it actually a pillow
It's
built in?
It's no, it's got a pocket. What you would do on about here,
Yeah.
you build a pocket so that when you fold your quilt up
Yeah.
and fold it, it folds into the pocket, so it becomes
Oh, like a pack-a-mac.
Yeah, literally like that. So it becomes a cushion, but
Okay.
it's only as thick as the quilt. But they're great for like having in your car and stuff like that, or on the sofa to unfold into a quilt if you need to.
Oh, nice. Alison said that she didn't like cats when suddenly, while at work, I adopted her Ashley, now over the Rainbow Bridge, sadly. He was so intelligent and had such a wonderful character. He even came for walks with me. Changed her view on cats forever. We had a cat used to come for walks with us. His name was Woolly Wolly Walrus Big Banana Feet.
Oh, right.
And he always used to come. He was a stray, and I used to stuff him in my pram as a 7-year-old with my dolls.
Yeah.
Well, he used to let me just push him
Yeah.
around everywhere, and he always used to come for walks with us with the dogs.
Lovely.
Yeah, Wally was fabulous. He had 3.5-inch whiskers.
Wow.
He was quite some cat.
Big cat. They say that cats' whiskers are as wide as them, don't they?
Yeah, he was quite wide.
Yeah.
By the end, when he wasn't a scrawny stray anymore.
And
Jane,
I've
this is beautiful. What else do we need
quilted
to know?
just inside the square on
Oh,
there.
okay.
Just inside, just so
Do we
Echo
need to see
quilted
that
it.
close up or not?
I don't think, well, I don't know whether we can see
Go
it.
on.
It'll show.
Who
Just,
knows?
it's like Echo quilted, so it's literally just inside. I don't think it shows up very well on the... We've got a bit more of a shadow there. That's it, you can just about see it.
No, you see, this is it. Penny says that she's using the machine without the table and toolbox, and she's going around corners.
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect. Lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, Jane, thank you.
You're welcome.
What are we doing next week?
I don't know, are we having a bit of Christmas?
Well, let's ask the audience,
Are we
shall we?
doing
Oh,
it?
bye, Penny.
We've got the Christmas Advent Calendar and the Runner available, or we've got Trip Around the World.
We've got both to choose from, haven't we?
Mm.
What I would say is, guys, Christmas is going to happen, and I know that that's upsetting for a lot of people at the moment, but it is going to happen. So we have a choice, don't we?
Yeah.
We either ignore it, and then it happens all in a bit of a rush and then catches us all by surprise and it's worse than ever. Or we embrace it and make the most of what we have and think of all the good things we do have.
Yeah, and I mean, we're still going to be able to see some family, aren't we? Because we can
Yeah.
have the rule of 6 in some areas. I know some areas haven't got that at the moment. But we can make Christmassy gifts to give to family that we're not going to see.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
maybe we make more Christmassy stuff to give away this year than we would do for our own home.
Well, maybe that's it. And so we decorate, we send a bit of our Christmassy love to other people.
Yeah.
And they can have that bit, yeah. Karen says, let's do Christmas.
Okay.
All right, Karen, we're listening to you. And Laurie says, brilliant demo, Jane. As
Thank you,
always.
Laurie. You're
as
so
always.
lovely, Laurie is.
And I don't know who, I think she means the cat. She says, with a name like that, calling him in at night.
Banana feet.
Yeah, I imagine the dawn was starting to break. Yeah, he did look like a walrus.
Aw.
With his big long whiskers, and he did have big feet because he was so skinny when he first came, hence, and he was woolly. So he was Woolly Wally Walrus, big banana feet. I don't see what's wrong with that.
Perfectly normal.
Pam says she loves Christmas. Donna wants Christmas. What's Claire doing? Looking to make her quilting hopscotch to use indoors. Amazing.
Lovely.
And Ali says, thanks for a lovely show, ladies.
You're
She's
welcome,
off to get
Ali.
ready for a COVID-secure dental appointment. Oh, yeah, you don't love the dentist, do you? Good luck with that. And Val says, Christmas, please. And Karen says, ooh, advent calendar, please, Jane. So, Jane, what is the Christmas show for next week?
We've got an advent calendar and
Yep.
a table runner. The advent calendar is a pre-printed panel, but it's really quick and easy.
Is it in your box?
Yes.
Is it on the...
Yes.
run and get it, show everybody. Because you know what will happen? Beverly will be like, can we have that? But in oh, Gemma,
Magic hand Gemma.
is there where did the angel go?
I think it's on the side opposite the light box.
There might be an angel-based advent calendar as well, but this is the one that Jane's bringing. It's gorgeous.
It's got little pockets in it here. It's a really quick and straightforward panel to make. It won't take long at all. So you know, if you're making for school, I mean, I don't know whether we will have school fairs or things going on this Christmas, but if you were, you could make this for a school fair to give away.
It's for a grandchild.
Yeah,
how gorgeous!
It's a really quick one to make. So what I'm trying to say is, you're not putting lots of hours into it. So if you felt you wanted to give it away, there's not a lot of time invested in it. Is what I'm trying to say. So
it doesn't have to be given to a family member because blood, sweat, and tears are going into it.
It's a really quick one as well. So, you know, if you've got...
It could be done for the kids next door and you wouldn't mind.
You can give it away. And then this is the table runner, and we've got 4 colourways of this one, I think.
I think we have. So the beautiful thing about this, and I think we might also be bringing Gemma's little idea as well.
Gemma's come up with a little project that will go beautifully with this.
So that's why there is the white.
We've got a red, white and blue one. We've got a green and red one, and we've got a dark one with a dark background on as well. And but so it's a bit of liberty.
There is a bit of liberty on there, and what I love about this is that you can really see the quilting, and you've also got space to put your dishes on without ruining your...
Yes.
If you want to have it as a table runner.
Yeah, and you know, use polyester wadding on the inside so it's easily washable and won't shrink.
Or your Insel Bright.
You can put your Insel Bright in there if you want to put hot dishes on it.
Heat resistant. If you want it wipe downable, use a bit of eau de coat. We've got every answer to every question.
Everything is possible.
And Gemma's got the Angèle. Now, guys, we haven't bought this yet, but we can. Would you like this?
This is the angel. This is a more, not complicated, but more time will go into making this one because there's individual pockets and things. But she's so pretty, and you can't see on the camera, but she's got gold metallic highlights on
She is very pretty.
She's very lovely.
Steady on, Karen. She said, is the advent calendar been uploaded to buy yet? You know, not yet. Because we only just decided to do it now, but we can, and I can upload these as well. And if we can then get them out to you, I won't get the angel out.
We can do a quilt along,
but we could do a little quilt along. Royal Mail, you know.
Yeah, if they play the game.
If they stop shutting at random times with my post.
It's difficult times
just
for everybody.
View, over the counter, sitting there, winking at me. That was fun. Oh, Laurie loves the angel. Okay, so we'll get one of those. And Beverly wants a foundation piecing demo. Right,
we can do
okay,
that. We can do that.
And she also loves the angel. Phew, thank goodness for that. Dale's got 2 Bengals. Theo is half Bengal and half ragdoll. Yeah. Which I think is why the kids allow him to, he allows the kids to just drag him around the place.
They get them on like that, don't they? He's like hanging over their arm.
But that's also why he, you know, brings in stuff. And we get the cry of, Mummy, there's a rabbit in my bedroom.
The tiger's been out of hunting.
Yeah, he doesn't kill him. He just brings them in and plays with them. But he takes them to Freddie because Freddie's his person.
Yeah. So that's his present.
Yeah. Please, can you add the angel to my order?
I've got to order it, Laurie. I've only got one. Hang on.
I'll pop it in your order, Laurie, and I'll order some more. Oh no, actually, we need to demo this.
Yeah, I need some more, and then sorry, because I got to make it.
All right. Oh my goodness, we're all arguing over it. I will get hold of some, and I'll order some now. Just let me know if you fancy the angel. That sounds wrong. If you'd like the angel,
yes,
and then it'll give me an idea of numbers to purchase. I'm not going to hold you to it, but just an idea.
So we've got a rough idea of how many to order. That's good.
Yeah. Can I just give you this shot very quickly because I'm enjoying the reindeer legs. Nice.
I did a little bit of free motion on there just to give him a bit of whizzing.
Yeah. Whizziness.
I can.
Enjoying that. Laurie says thanks. Right, okay. Well, we've got stuff to work on then, haven't
Yes,
we?
been
Perfect. Thanks, everyone, once again. And I'm at Hochanda tomorrow. So I will see some of you there who watches there. Otherwise, Monday is the day.
What you doing Monday?
I don't know. I've got to plan it, haven't I? I mean, we've had a bit of a fabric delivery. I mean, that's the other thing.
Got some wonderful.
Yeah, just if you love our half-metre heavens, we
Yeah.
might have got a bit overexcited
Yes.
this week because we have just had I've had to rein it back in a bit, Jane, and limited on quite a few of them. So you need to get in quick. They get published at midnight. For any of you, people that can't sleep. There we go. Heather wants both calendars. I say she wants both calendars. She says she loves both calendars. She hasn't committed.
Yeah. No
Oh,
commitment.
hello, Neil. You've joined us just as we're going. Beverly also needs the angel and the Santa. Shall I post up on Facebook when they are loaded then? Is that
I think
easier?
that's the easiest thing to
Yeah.
do, isn't it?
And I'll get a price for them and pop them up for you. And yeah. Karen wants the angel. Maxine's just joined us. Hello. And Elizabeth is going to watch me on her channel tomorrow. There we go. Perfect. Thank you, everybody. Jane. Oh, Diane wants an angel as well. Everybody wants everything. This is fabulous.
This is lovely. This is what we like.
Excellent. We will make that the way. Loving the demo today, ladies. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you very much. That just about sums it up. Take care, everybody. Lots of love. Stay safe and all that kind of malarkey.
Bye-bye.
Bye.